from the dead. Somehow these disciples, the disciples, have yet to grasp the fact that Jesus relinquished death, hell, and the grave. Jesus gave all that bad stuff that happened to him on Friday. He gave all of that bad stuff back to those that gave it to him. Jesus got up and left what they gave him. And the disciples have yet to accept the fact that they are recipients of third day power. And so that they're stuck in what was. They're stuck in what was. They're not living in the reality of their power. And so Jesus, guess what? He goes undercover, y'all. Jesus goes. He goes undercover. Jesus becomes their undercover boss. Jesus goes incognito. Jesus goes to see the effects of his decision to go to Calvary, to see where the disciples' problems lie, to get an up-close look at both the good and the bad while trying to assist the disciples in getting their lives back on track. And so our text picks up with the disciples getting away. They're on their way. They've had enough. Y'all know how it is. You've had enough, and you got to go on a staycation. You got to get away from the crowd. You got to get away. And so the disciples are on their way to a village called Emmaus when Jesus shows up out of nowhere. Lord have mercy. Notice that they didn't go to him this time. Rather, he came to them. Listen, there are times in life when we are not able to get to him, but instead, guess what? He'll get to us. I need a church right there. Is there a witness this morning? Jesus, he came to you just as you were. Hallelujah. So then Jesus, he interrupts their sad state of affairs, breaks into the grief, the disappointment, and the shame of what had occurred in their lives. And he walks in on the conversation of his disciples the evening after his resurrection. And yet the two don't recognize it's Jesus. For like the CEOs in Undercover Boss, it's like Jesus has altered his appearance. He's assumed a make-believe identity. He's given a fictitious story and gone on an undercover assignment to examine the inner workings of the disciples because they don't realize who it is that they're talking to. Jesus hears them talking and discovers that they are talking about him. In Undercover Boss, it's amazing that in every episode I've seen, it never fails that the CEO always asks the employees about the CEO. Jesus asked the two disciples what they were discussing, and the two disciples told Jesus that they were talking about Jesus. The disciples were talking about Jesus to Jesus. Talking to the CEO about the CEO. Here they are talking to Jesus about Jesus, and they're not aware that it is Jesus. Here are these two disciples, and they're living in the reality of the moment, not knowing that the CEO was with them in the moment. Jesus, the Christ, the Son of the living God, was with them in the moment. He was with them on the road. And whether we realize it or not, we are never alone. We are never forsaken. We're never by ourselves. The CEO is with us. We may not always realize or recognize that Jesus, the Christ, the Son of the living God, is with us. But even when we don't recognize it, even when we don't sense it, even when we don't know it, if it had not been for the Lord who was on my side, where would I be? Jesus is with us. Yes, he is. I know I got two witnesses in the sanctuary this morning that the Lord of hosts is with us. The text says Jesus walked 7 miles, my God, 7 miles from Jerusalem to Emmaus with these disciples. And guess what? He's walking with us today. Oh yeah, he's walking the 7-mile trip with us today. He's walking with you today, this morning. I love this. Love this. Walks 7 miles with them. I like the scenes in Undercover Boss when they show the CEO and the workers on break in the break room. they're on break in the break room talking, and it never fails that the workers in the break room on break, they always have some problems. They always got some circumstances, some situations, some challenges. I mean, it never fails. They always have there's some sort of difficulty, some sort of challenge, some issue that is keeping the worker from being all that the worker can be. I mean, one episode showed a worker trying to work but can't afford child care. I mean, trying to work and need health insurance. Trying to work and go to school at the same time. Trying to work and the house got burned down. And trying to work and a child died. And trying to work and a family member has mental illness. Trying to work and spend time with the family, and trying to work, and one worker had cancer in her body. It's always something. But what I appreciate is that instead of dismissing the conversations as insignificant or trivial, the CEO doesn't abandon them. The CEO stays right there with them, and even though they don't realize it then, but as they talk in the break room, the CEO is writing notes and he's making plans to fix all of the things that they're talking about. And it may not seem like it, but guess what? The same is true with us. As we talk to God, just like it is in the break room, so it is with our God. Guess what? He's making plans to fix all of those things that you've been talking to him about. I've come to announce to you this morning, God is working on your behalf to fix your finances, to fix your children, to fix your economy, to fix your sickness, to fix your family, to fix everything you have wrong. Hallelujah. I say he's working right now. It may not seem like it may not feel like it, but I got two witnesses in the house that can testify he's working right now. Hallelujah. Working on my employment, working on my housing situation, working on my education. He's working. He's working on it. He's working on it. I said he's working on it. Oh my God.